Hello everyone and welcome once again to Tutorials Point. Well, in this video, we are going to discuss the secret about clearing your interview in the first attempt. Well, haven't you encountered such people who happen to clear in the first attempt? Definitely we have, right? Now, what is it that these people do differently which makes them to clear it in the very first attempt? Well, I can tell you this thing because even I have done it. Wow! So, this is not going to be a secret anymore, and we will discuss this in this video so that you also can clear your interviews in the very first attempt. Let's go ahead. Okay, now there are various questions that we are faced with in our interview, right? And basis how we answer, it decides whether we will clear our interview or we won't, right? So one very important thing which as it is I have discussed in all the videos is that you need to understand what is the intent of the interviewer to ask you that particular question. Is it as simple as it looks on the surface, or is there any reason, any hidden reason as to why the interviewer is asking you? So as we discussed so many questions, we definitely unveiled the reason as to what is it that the interviewer is looking for by asking a particular question. So same goes for this question as well. And there is a huge probability that definitely you would be encountered with this question. Now, let's have a look. So the question is, how do you deal with stressful situations? Now, first of all, why is it that the interviewer wants to know that? Because you might as well, kind of get this thing clear in your mind that every job at some point or the other, or some jobs at all the times, are stressful, right? And it is during this time that the recruiter doesn't want to hire such a person who just collapses under stress situations, right? So the interviewer actually wants to know, are you a kind of a person who is immune to stress, or are you kind of a person who just loses all the the wits, the strength, or kind of who loses his or her calm during stress. So just imagine you were the recruiter. Would you like to hire someone, any person who loses his or her calm during stress? Well, not really. Not just in job, this is also a very important character as far as your personal life is concerned, right? So it is just this kind of this attitude of kind of being a person who does not lose at all during stress that the interviewer is looking for, right? Precisely, which is why he or she has asked you this question as to how do you deal with stress situations, right? So how do you frame this answer? Are you just gonna blab anything or everything under the sun? Well, not really. So let's see how you're gonna structure this answer. Okay, so first of all, we all have a different way of handling stress, right? So now that you're aware that this probably could be a question that, could just come your way while you're giving your interview, it definitely is a good idea to just sit and kind of introspect and kind of understand as to how is it that you react during various stress situations. Now, once you know and you're able to personalize, right, which is precisely what the very first point says, that personalize your answer. So once you know and you're clear as to this is a particular behavior which kind of governs my stress pattern, so definitely you'll be able to frame your answer. So first of all, the very first start point is you should first be aware, right? Okay, now how do you personalize your answer? So now definitely there would have been situations wherein you would have handled stress in a particular way, maybe from your previous job, or maybe during your studies, or any situation, or at any point in time, right? So you might want to actually portray that. You might want to pick that example and put it forward in front of the interviewer. Now here it is a good idea as to, now how do you want to portray yourself as to how do you handle stress? Do you really want to say that you're a person who just crashes down in stress, gets completely boiled up, is way too kind of frustrated and gets very angry and goes on flashing or goes on thrashing people around, would you really want to portray that? Well, not really. So different people have a different way of handling stress. Nevertheless, it definitely would be a good idea to personalize this question and kind of, put it forward in your own words as to how you like to handle stress, right? Or how is it that you've handled stress in your past situations. So as you've already, this is an example which is already ready in your mind. Now you're going to put it forward in a way such that it helps or it kind of convinces the interviewer that yes, you are a person who can handle his or her stress very well. Or I mean, to be actually very, very honest, there are people who work better in stress situations, and I am an example of that. So when I was faced with this question, or if I ever would be faced in future as well, this is how I'm going to answer that, well, definitely stress is something which is kind of overwhelming for anyone and everybody, but this is something that just motivates me. And how I keep myself motivated is because of the fact that I just concentrate on the end result and prevent myself by getting swayed away by various distractions which are around the corner. And that is how I handle stress. So in a way, you're not even showing that first of all, you push yourself way too hard or you burn yourself out during stress, and at the same time you're not even kind of showing that you don't even care a damn about it, because both of these two extreme ends of being way too consumed in stress and being way too careless about it definitely is not something that you would want to portray, right? So in a way, you just have to seamlessly you might want to portray as if you seamlessly like sail through any stress situation without getting distracted, right? So that is precisely what the interviewer is looking for, because no one wants to recruit a person who is on either side of the pole, right? So this is how you're going to personalize it. And then once you said it, it's not just words, you have to back it up with an example. You might want to pick up any example from your previous job, maybe from your, maybe your qualification, maybe your college time, maybe your school time. So backing it up with an example definitely helps, kind of makes it sound way more authentic. Okay, now going forward, you have to portray a balanced approach, which is something that we already discussed, that it's not that you're gonna kind of show that you're on either side, kind of one side, either you burn yourself out way too much or it just doesn't matter to you. So this kind of approach definitely is not the best thing to portray during your interview. And last but not the least, as I already told you, you have to give a real life example, because that is what makes it sound way too authentic, right? So you might want to avoid kind of going way too off the track or getting way too personal while you're explaining, but at the same time giving an example definitely is much more kind of convincing, and it makes it sound much more real and authentic, which is precisely what the pursuit is, right? Okay, so I'm sure if you are able to handle this stressful situation during your interview, I'm sure you can clear your interview in the very first attempt. Yes, that is right. So now I'm sure you know what the secret is. So the secret is balancing yourself during stress. Yes, that is right. So now I'm sure you know how to structure your answer. So let's go ahead and see what is the next stressful question which you might be faced with. Okay, how do you like to be managed? Well. Why is the interviewer asking you? Why does he or she want to know how do you like to be managed? Is it that the interviewer has some personal interest in you? Or is it that the interviewer is just sitting there to talk and chit chat with you and just... Is it really that? Well, not really. Because so precisely when the interviewer is asking you this question, what he or she wants to know is, would you fit in that, particular work culture wherein you've applied? Would you actually... Because see, every organization has a different way of working. Not just the organization, to be even more specific, it is every team, every department within an organization has a different way of working, right? So the manager, while he or she is asking you, or the recruiter while he or she is asking you, what is your particular managing style, or how do you like to be managed, what he or she wants to know is, would you be a right fit in that particular organization? Would you be able to fit in the work culture? Right? This is what he or she wants to know. And now that you know what he or she wants to know, what do you think is going to keep you from clearing your interview in the first attempt? Well, here is the secret. So you probably want to design your answer according to the environment of the organization wherein you have applied for. Nevertheless, how are you going to start it? Okay. So reflect on your past bosses and gather examples. Now, in all likelihood, you might have worked with probably the best or the worst kind of bosses, right, during your entire career. But what kind of example do you want to pick and choose and put in front of the interview? That primarily is going to define whether whether you're able to convince the recruiter about you being a perfect fit in that organization or not. So now, before, of course, this is something, the first point here precisely is the homework which you're going to do. Now that you know that, this is a question which might just come your way during your interview. So just sitting at home while you're preparing for your interview, it is definitely a good idea if you just pause the video right away and reflect upon, the different bosses whom you encountered, and what is it that gave you the best experience? What was the the kind of management style which kind of motivated you the most to work? Are you a kind of person who likes to be micromanaged, or are you a person who kind of likes autonomy? What kind of a person are you? So this is completely for you to think, right? So once you've paused this video and now you have the answer ready with you, that is when the real answer starts. Okay, now you know what is your typical style of management, right? And if you're able to pitch in that style, okay, so even before going for the interview, along with the fact that you are going to do some homework by introspecting upon yourself, you also would be aware of what is the work culture in that particular organization. Well, is it a tough job to find that out? Well, not really. Again, you might want to pause your video, go on the social media, just search out. You will definitely get an answer as to what is that particular work culture. So now you have both these answers, you have your entire homework done. You know what is your management style, and you now also are aware what is the particular work culture of that organization. So now you have both the things in your hand. Now what is it that is left? Nothing. So now what you want to do is, now you are sitting in your interview. Now how are you going to frame the answer? So what you might want to do is, it definitely would be the best idea to pitch in your management style with that of the organization. Well, if you're able to do it, definitely it is going to be your interview which you've cleared in the first attempt, right? But now there are also chances that your management style, or the people whom you worked with in the past kind of were not as, you somehow were not able to fit into their in the way that they try to manage you. So in that case, you definitely don't want to vent it out, or you definitely don't want to kind of bash all those people. That definitely is not a very good idea to do, because if you're busy complaining, well, definitely it is not a sign that the interviewer, for sure you can consider that the interviewer will not recruit you in all likelihood. But at the same time, if you as the best strategy, or the best way to actually put it forward would be pitch in the company's management style with that of yours, because then you've easily sailed through. And last but not the least, you definitely do not want to give a generic response. Now, what is a generic response? Well, no matter what, I can work in any environment. That is also kind of not the best response, because that portrays that you yourself are not clear, you yourself are not sure as to what is the way you like to be managed, or you yourself are a person who doesn't have clarity. So you definitely do not want to give generic responses. At the same time, you also do not want to end up bashing all the people whom you worked with and they did not give you a very, very good experience. The best way to sail through this answer seamlessly would be to pitch in the company's work culture with your own management style. Yes, that is the secret of clearing the interview in the very first attempt. So friends, what is it left? What are you waiting for? Just go ahead, give your interviews fearlessly. I'm sure you're going to clear it in the very first attempt. So friends, this was all about the important questions and what would be the best strategy so that you are for sure successful in the very first attempt when you attempt your interview. We will see you again in the next video. Till that time, keep learning with Tutorials Point and Tutorix. Have a good day.